What's going on, Raider Nation? It's JT, and I'm back with another video. We're going to be talking about the Raiders' first preseason game and just going over what we learned from camp. Stay tuned and enjoy the video. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more silver and black content. But this training camp was pretty interesting overall. I would say that we learned a little or very little about a certain position that I'm going to be talking about. And we also learned a lot about the general one side of the ball of the defense. We're going to start there. We're going to start with the positive of camp, which was the defense. And just, it looks absolutely incredible from all sources, whether local, whether national media people. All of them are saying that the Raiders defense is absolutely incredible. Now, does that completely negate the bad that I'm going to be talking about? No, but it is going to massively help with this season. Last season, we even saw it with that defense just absolutely running over people, a buzzsaw last season, towards the end of the season. And now we're getting year 3 of consistency with Patrick Graham. You have consistency up front with Max Crosby, John Jenkins, Malcolm Kuntz coming out, Divine Diablo and Robert Spillane being a 1-2 punch in the middle of the field. And then you have a backfield that the only question mark is at CB2, and even then there's been major strides with Jacorian Bennett coming out. And then you also have DeCamerion Richardson right behind him that has looked really solid. And you also have MJ Devonshire, another new guy that has looked really, really solid. And Jack Jones is looking absolutely fucking incredible. Like, he's going to be a Pro Bowl level fucking corner this season. And then even the safeties looking incredible. Trayvon Moehrig is going to be an insanely fucking good free safety this year. Might be one of the best in the league by the end of the year. And then you have Marcus Epps, who's just that perfect vet safety in the backfield, helping communicate, and it's just going to be fan-fucking-tastic. I am super excited. This depth chart, especially on the defensive line, is just super deep. Behind the big four of John Jenkins, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkinson, and Malcolm Kuntz, you have Tyree Wilson, you have Byron Young, Adam Butler, and Janarius Robinson. And then even behind that, you still have starters like Matthew Butler and David Agoa and Ellerson Smith could make a decent, pass for the roster. There's just, and that's to Jade Silvera, I forgot about him, and just so many names that could make this roster. It's so deep. The roster cuts are going to be so hard on this D-line. It's going to come down to the wire for them. And then even linebacker, Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane. Behind him, you have Luke Masterson and Tommy Eichenberg. And it just looks like a really fucking good linebacker room right there. I mean, those three, the first three I mentioned, Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane, Luke Masterson, all played together last year. And then you added Tommy Eichenberg, who looked like a really solid prospect coming out of Ohio State. And you have a really great just 4 linebackers right there. And then the cornerback room is really, really young, but it's looking really, really strong. Headlined by Jack Jones and Nate Hobbs. You have, like I talked about just now, MJ Devonshire, DeCamerion Richardson coming out and just looking really good. You even have Sam Webb making plays, Woo Governor making plays. Brandon Faison's been a nobody so far in camp. He has not showed up. But those, though maybe not as deep as the rest of the defense, really strong up front, so we should be really fucking good in those positions. And then at safety, you have Trayvon Moehrig, you have Marcus Epps that headline that, and then you have Isaiah Palomau, who's absolutely cooking in camp, and he should definitely be that third string safety behind Moehrig and Epps. And then you also have Chris Smith, you have Trey Taylor, you have Jaden Grant. It's just looking absolutely phenomenal in the safety room. So really the one weakness you have is that cornerback 2 and like a little bit of depth. But even then, the depth is still young talent. So it is super exciting on this defensive side of the ball. We learned a lot about this defense. They look like just absolutely incredible. Albeit they're kind of picking on a very weak offense, which I'm going to be talking about in a second. But I don't doubt that they're going to be possibly, I think, a top 5 defense in the entire NFL in this upcoming season. And then let's get to kind of the negative side of the ball, which is the offense. You have very strong parts. However, some of the strong parts are missing right now. Colton Miller, still missing from practice, still has not been off the PUP list. Am I super nervous about Miller catching up to speed? No, only because it is Colton Miller. He's a really fucking good left tackle. But we got to make sure that Andrus Peat is actually, feasible at left tackle if Colton Miller can't come back for the first few weeks of the season. Cody Whitehair is currently the starting left guard. I'm perfectly fine with that. Jackson Powers-Johnson is on the PUP list still. So I honestly at this point don't think he's even going to start the season. However, as the season goes on, he definitely could. But at the moment, I don't believe that Jackson Powers-Johnson gets into the game until at least week 5 or 6. Once he comes back, it's going to be like a good process before he gets into the game. And then you have Andre James, really solid center there. I don't get the hate that he gets, but he's a really solid center. And then you have Dylan Parham, really, really good guard. And then Thayer Munford and DJ Glaze battling out for that right tackle spot. Now, DJ Glaze is a rookie, but he's been battling for right tackle. When Thayer Munford is being put onto the left side, ahead of Andres Pete sometimes in the first team, DJ Glaze has held his own against Max Crosby. And that's not easy to go up against. Max Crosby, and even behind Max Crosby, you have Tyree Wilson and Malcolm Kuntz and, all those guys, Janarius Robinson, making plays and being really good pass rushers. And he's played really well, according to reports. So I'm really excited about that. And probably the most important part of our offense is our pass catching group, because they look really, really good. And I'm really excited to see what the pass catchers can do with Devontae Adams, with Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, even Kristen Wilkerson, a new guy, Ramel Keaton, an undrafted free agent wide receiver, and even out of the backfield, Zamir White and Alexander Madison and Dylan Lowry making a name for himself in this camp and just definitely making a case for him to be on that 53-man roster by the end of August. And I'm just super excited to see what they can do. But the only issue is that you have an unknown quarterback issue right now. There's no decision on Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew yet. And that needs to be a decision very, very soon. And honestly, it needs to be a good decision because, like I just said, this pass catching group is looking really fucking good. And honestly, it might come down to how the offensive line is looking. If the offensive line is looking porous, is looking a little bit weaker than it was last year, you guys do a Gardner Minshew. Aiden O'Connell cannot escape a pocket. He does not have the mobility to move around the pocket enough to escape the pocket and make plays with his legs. Gardner Minshew does, which is why he was successful with the Colts last year, who had a more porous O-line than they wanted. And Gardner Minshew was able to play good enough football where they almost got to the playoffs. But Aiden O'Connell, if he had a clean pocket, would probably overall might be the better option than Gardner Minshew. He's more accurate, and he has a better arm. But I'm still on the Minshew Mania train. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still on that train. Let me know in the comments below what train you're on, whether Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. But we're going to find out on Saturday which quarterback looks the better. And if they don't look better, we're going to find out in Game 2. And if they still don't look better, we're going to find out in Game 3. And then we're just going to have to hope for the best for the first game of the regular season in 2024. But speaking of Saturday, I will be live streaming that game. I will be reacting to it live here on YouTube and on X. So definitely give me a follow on X and here. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch that with me. But other than that, I think this training camp showed us that our defense is really fucking good. Our pass catchers and skill position players are really fucking good. And our quarterback position is really fucking bad. And the O-line is definitely a bit shakier than we anticipated as Raider Nation. So let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about this roster going to the first preseason game. Let me know who you think is going to win the QB battle. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more unfiltered silver and black content. And peace out, Raider Nation.